Hey guys, today we are going to be making Pop-Tarts with just a couple simple ingredients. Some of the words you'll hear me use today are perimeter and area. Perimeter is the distance outside of a plane figure, and area is the measure in square units inside of a plane figure. So some of the ingredients we will be using today are pie crust. We'll be using both of them on the inside of this. We will be using any type of jam. I picked strawberry, but I'm sure all the flavors will taste good. We will be using cornstarch to thicken up the jam, an egg to paint on the outside, and then for the best part, we will be using milk, powdered sugar, and sprinkles for the top of the Pop-Tarts. Before we begin, it is very important that we wash our hands. So you're gonna turn on your water so it gets a little warm. Take a few pumps of soap. You wanna scrub in between and on the outside, getting all of those germs off. It's also very important that when you're done washing your hands, you dry off every bit of water. So now that our hands are clean, we can get started. Before we begin, we want to set the oven to the right temperature. Ask your parents for their help before you do this. We are gonna set the oven to 400 degrees. And what I like to do to get prepared is also get our pan ready. So I just have a pan ready here with a little bit of parchment paper. Before we begin, we want to lightly flour our surface. This will help so that the pie crust does not stick to the countertop that you're working on. So once you have your surface ready, you can unroll the pie crust. We're just gonna work with one of the circles right now. But once you have it down like that, you can take a rolling pin and we are just going to roll it out so that this creates a bigger pie crust to work with. So I'm going to cut nice and straight. Do the same here on this side and then at the bottom. You can move your scraps out of the way to clear your space. I have here a ruler. We are gonna find the perimeter of this shape of pie crust. So I'm gonna put my ruler down next to our material, and I can see that it is about 9 inches on this side. So that means it's 9 inches on this side and 9 inches on that side. So I can move my ruler to the bottom, and oh my, look at that. It's 9 inches on the bottom, making it 9 inches over here. So if we have 9 inches on this side, 9 inches on that side, we have 9 inches all the way around. To find the perimeter, we have to add all of our lengths together. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 36. Here I have a square that is drawn to represent the same size as our pie crust. So no, it's not exactly the same size as the pie crust, but each one of these little squares represents an inch. So we have 9 inches on the top and 9 inches on each side and the bottom. So to find out the perimeter, we have to add all 4 sides together, and that gives us 36. So our perimeter of our shape is 36 inches. Now that we have both of our pie crusts cut into even squares, you are going to take your knife and cut your square into thirds, giving us 3 equal pieces. Then you will cut your shape in half, giving us 6 even pieces. These are going to be the tops and the bottoms of your Pop-Tart. Our next step is to combine ½ cup of your jam with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch will thicken our jam so that it has more of like a Pop-Tart inside consistency. So we will put these together. And mix it up. Our next step is we are going to place all of our Pop-Tarts on the tray. So you only want to do 6 of them at first because these are going to be the bottoms of your Pop-Tart. Once you have 6 on here, you can take your bowl of jam and you're going to spoon some of it into each Pop-Tart. So you want to just do the middle. It's like a little, it's going to be like a little pocket. So a spoonful for each. Before we put the top part of the Pop-Tart on the bottom, we want to paint the outside of our Pop-Tarts with this egg that we mixed. This acts like the glue that will keep our top and bottom stuck together. Next, our job is to put the top of the Pop-Tart onto the bottom. Lay it nice and even. It's okay if it doesn't match up perfectly. Our final step is taking a fork and you want to press the edges so that it sticks together. So before we put these in the oven, I do want to get the perimeter of one of these Pop-Tarts. So we're gonna measure the long side of one of these, and I can see that it is 5 inches long. So that must mean that that side is also 5 inches. And this side is 3 inches long. So this side must also be about 3 inches long. So if we add 5 plus 5, that gives us 10, and 3 plus 3 gives us 6. So our perimeter of this Pop-Tart is 16 inches. Here I have a plain figure that represents our Pop-Tart. We have 5 inches on each side and 3 inches on the top and bottom. So when we want to find the area, we have to count how many square inches or units are on the inside. So each of these little squares represents an inch of measurement. So on the inside, I have 3 columns of 5. So I added 5 plus 5 plus 5, giving us 15. So the area of our Pop-Tart is 15 square inches. So they look ready to go into the oven. We are going to put them on the top rack and set the timer for 15 minutes. So we'll check back when they look nice and golden on the top. They'll be ready to be taken out. Okay. For our frosting, we are going to use 1 cup powdered sugar mixed with 1 tablespoon of milk. So you might need to add a little bit of milk as we go. Sometimes the consistency can be a little too thin, but we're gonna mix it to see. Okay guys, we have a couple seconds left. We're gonna check to see if they are ready to be taken out. They look nice and toasted, so we'll let them cool before we frost them. Okay, so now that the Pop-Tarts have cooled, we can take our frosting and drizzle it on the Pop-Tarts, making it nice and decorated. Then we can add the sprinkles, and they will be ready to eat. Hey guys, thanks for joining me to make these Pop-Tarts and learning more about area and perimeter. Now that I have my treat, I've picked a nice area to enjoy them in.